Alright, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it's worth. Let's get this merch. Subscribe to the PDH Network. Alright, y'all see what's going on here? As y'all see the thumbnail, y'all read the title under the thumbnail. Yeah, this one is still dealing with the untimely demise of Chicago Jeweler Duke. And yeah, how his cousin Mando G feel about the whole situation. Now, Mando G, he does express the fact that he been hearing that allegedly someone from Boosie camp has something to do with it. But he also understands that Boosie name could just be thrown out there to protect the people that actually has something to do with it. You understand? And Mando G does express the fact that yes, he got word that it was some guys from Chicago that was in the building as well. See, I'm talking about the dice game, alright? So again, the video clippings that y'all been seeing pertaining to Duke the Jeweler at the dice game with J.Prince Jr., Boosie, and all their affiliates, allegedly, Duke had met some guys from Chicago out there. So some guys that knew he was going to bring the bag, you know what I'm saying? But this the thing, Mando G is saying that, yeah, that could be a possibility, but at the same time, did those guys follow Duke the whole time? Meaning that the dice game was the day before the concert. The thing is, Mando G is saying maybe they got Duke's address pertaining to where he was staying at. Meaning that Duke had gave the guys from Chicago his address to the hotel that he was at. You know what I'm saying? Because they knew, some guys from Chicago knew that Duke was coming out to H-Town with a bag of jewelry. And at the same time, they're also saying that these guys from Chicago may be also connected to J.Prince Jr. and his guys. Because y'all got to understand the fact that J.Prince Jr. and his pops, J.Prince, they've been affiliated with the guys for a long time. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why some people are saying that could be a possibility, because we know that J.Prince and his family, they connected in the streets. And also a lot of people do understand the fact that when something like this happen, they're going to get a word of it. You understand? They're going to get a word of who done it and where it was done. And that's real talk, all because they connected to the streets. There's some people saying that, hey man, they ain't gonna tell them everything. Hey, trust me, for the connections and for the money, they will. They already got people on payroll, people on call that's doing it already. That's the reason why when guys' chains end up missing in Houston or even in LA, who got their chains back? J.Prince Jr. And a lot of times he wasn't even affiliated to either side. He just happened to be a person to be a middle ground pertaining to whatever discontent the two opposing parties had towards one another. So again, based on that, what I'm saying is a lot of people know the connections that J.Prince Jr. has in the streets that come from his father. But again, yes, Mando G and his family, you know what I'm saying, the guys, they looking into it. Again, they got resources, they got money, you know what I'm saying, they got lawyers on speed dial, and those lawyers are calling HPD every minute of the hour to see what type of new details they have in store. And like I just told y'all before, they got word that, yes, somebody did go through Duke the Jeweler room after his untimely demise. Because like I said before, they did not see the bag of jewelry that was in Duke's car when he had left the concert. So again, when Duke got sent up and they looked in the car to see if the jewelry was in there, because they knew he had it, but guess what? He had left it in the hotel room. So that's the reason why the HPD had to retrieve the footage from the hotel of guys going into Duke the Jeweler room. And again, they not gonna go running into the hotel or go running in his room. If they have the card, they gonna walk in there naturally. They gonna walk in there like that's their room. You feel me? So that's the reason why it wasn't no red flags thrown out pertaining to someone going in Duke the Jeweler room after his untimely demise. But again, yes, Mando G and his family and they business associates that's connected to Duke the Jeweler, they do understand that there is somebody that was watching Duke the entire time. And yes, a lot of them is stating that it could have all started from the dice game, because that's when a lot of hands were shaking. A lot of people was being introduced to others that some people didn't know. Like I said, man, a lot of people, especially in H-Town, did not know Duke was a jeweler. Okay, they have their own jewelers out there. And we all know that in any type of game, if you don't have any type of venture deal with another person that's in the same industry you are, and you go to their city to set up shop, they gonna feel some type of way, especially if they get word from an outside source that you there basically doing what you want to do. Now Duke, again, he got connections out there in Houston, cause him and his family had been doing business with H-Town Jewelers for over 10 years. So again, it still speaks into the fact that Mando G does understand that Boosie's name could have been thrown out there, but he's not totally excluding Boosie or his guys that's being part of his cousin untimely demise. And I understand where he's coming from, because again, pertaining to a bag of jewelry that's well over, the amount is well over $2 million. That's not even accounting the jewelry that Duke had on himself. And we not even speaking on, the jewelry, that's material. You know what I'm saying? Duke family, they want to know what happened to Duke himself. Yeah, they're gonna worry about the merchandise later. You know what I'm saying? They got insurance on that. Similar, like, yes, they have insurance on Duke as well, but at the same time, they can't bring him back. You know what I'm saying? They could go in the lab and recreate some old jewelry. You know what I'm saying? From the natural minerals, the natural raw material that they get. But what they know they can't do is bring Duke the jeweler back. And that's the reason why they want questions answered ASAP, man. Pertaining to everybody who was at that dice game. You know what I'm saying? And again, yes, they gonna look into whoever was from Chicago and was at that dice game. They gonna look into it. They gonna see if somebody from the city has something to do with Duke being sent up. And if so, hey man, the situation is gonna get more crazier than what it's looking right now. And that's real talk. But at the same time, that's not what we want. That's the reason why Mando G said it's best for Boosie and J.Prince affiliates, you know what I'm saying, to speak up. And he's saying, like, they ain't got to tell the people. They ain't got to tell, you know what I'm saying, the HPD. He said they could let them know. You know what I'm saying? Let Duke family know. And they'll handle the situation as they see fit. You feel me? But again, man, the whole situation is messed up because Duke, he was a jeweler. He had money. He had resources. And again, he was putting guys on, man. Mando G was one of them. That's his cousin. He showed his cousin the ropes. You know what I'm saying? His other cousin Aisha. Like, they really messed up off this, real talk. These are the relatives that spoke with Duke every day. Like, we talking about every single day, man. You know what I'm saying? Either they was pulling up to the shop where he do business at, or he was pulling up to them. You know what I'm saying? But again, they are expressing the fact that if Duke dodged the Chicago streets, all this time, how could he not do the same thing in Houston over the weekend? Yeah, it's a lot of people saying that man, he should have had security. He should have had some guys, at least 2 or 3 guys around him that he know had the blickies on them. You understand? Hey, guess what? There's some people saying that too. Maybe because we all know this is factual information. Duke did go out to H-Town with his girl and another partner. Now, the partner that he went out there with has not been heard back from, I should say. His girl, Mando G, spoke to her. Stacks spoke to her partner that went out there, because it was 3 of them that was on the plane coming from Chicago to Houston. So again, a lot of people want to know what happened to the dude, man. Was he the one that's supposed to have been Duke's protector? Was he the one that had the blicky? You know what I'm saying? To look over to make sure that Duke make it back to Chicago safely? Was he the one? Hey, that's what we all looking into. But as always, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it's worth. Let's get this merch. Subscribe to the PDH Network.